What's going on, y'all? This is Isaiah Fowler, the founder of SWAV Eyewear and SWAV Agency. And today is the 67th episode of the podcast, of the Starts with a Vision podcast. And every Monday and Wednesday, we are coming to you with some information in regards to direct to consumer. How are we building our direct to consumer brands? How are we growing them? How are we looking at things like profitability, right? How are we really positioning our company to be a brand that could one day get acquired? That's what we're focused on. That's what we talk about on this podcast, on this platform, right? And today is no different. So if you're just tuning in, be sure to subscribe to the channel, to comment on the last video, this video, whatever, and share with a friend that has a product-based business, because today we're going to be talking about some things to consider in 2022 for e-commerce and also direct to consumer. Direct to consumer is literally my favorite topic because I live it, right? I live it every single day. The conversations that I'm having on a day-to-day basis are definitely just really about direct to consumer because it's so important to understand what it's really about, right? So when we think about going into the next year, December is a time where it's the holidays, so it is busy, but at the same time, those last couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of December, people are thinking about their future. They're thinking about 2022 or the next year that's following. And, you know, it's like, okay, what should I think about? How did this year go? And stuff like that. So this episode, I'm talking about things that you should be considering next year, which is 2022. The last 2 years were very interesting, of course, because of COVID, because of supply chain issues, because of iOS, right? There's always something to point the blame at or say that this is what's wrong. But number one, it's all about that mindset, right? It's all about how you're perceiving things. So when we think about going into 2022, there are some things that are very important to think about, and depending on like where you're at in business. But one of the biggest things that we can't like ignore is the blockchain technology. And this blockchain technology is going to be changing the game for every industry, right? So, and I'm not saying, immediately, but over the next 2 to 3 years, and for sure over the next 5 to 10 years, but the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see so many advancements. We're going to see so many things happening at a very high level, at a very large level, from the perspective of NFTs, from the perspective of virtual events, virtual communities, in the product industry, right? With the product-based business industry, with e-commerce. And like, it's interesting because when you think about it, you have a physical product that you use, that you wear, right? But it's like, how am I going to, do virtual when I have a physical product? And so really being able to tie those two together and merge those two, that's going to be very, very interesting, and it's going to be very important. So that's something to think about. And it's a very deep topic because you got to think about it. Like, I see so many different articles because I've been researching like crazy, like this whole month of December. Like literally, I've just been immersed in, crypto, blockchain, NFTs, right? DeFi, all these different things that, is changing the world. And we're talking about like the internet has a foundational, operational level, right? So what the blockchain is it's the new infrastructure of what the new world is going to be operating off of. And that's why they're calling it Web 3.0, right? So you had like, the .com era, 2000s. Then you have, social media, right? That was like another version of it. But like, this is the next. This is the thing. And so regardless of whether you like it or not, it's going to be very important to understand how is this going to play into the whole strategy of the business. It does, like, you cannot turn your eyes, to the other side, or you can't turn a cold shoulder and say that don't matter. Like, from a mass adoption perspective, from the huge, like the consumer base, you need to understand how is this going to play into, our strategy, into our business. So that is very, very, very important. Something else that you want to consider is like, you want to think about your past performance, and then you want to really ask yourself like, okay, look at this year, right? From January to December of this year. And you really want to ask yourself, like, based on what we did last year, how can we 5 to 7x that, right? They say good growth in a company is like 2x, 2 to 3x, right? That's like, pretty good growth. So if you can ask yourself, how can we 5x, even if you don't 5x, right? If you just put your mind on that question, you're going to start uncovering different things, right? Because what a lot of people do is they have a revenue goal. And so when you have a revenue goal and you're not like correlating that to like, what is that revenue goal in relevance to last year? You're just like shooting for vanity metrics, because here's why. You want to say, okay, we did $250,000 this year. We want to 5x, right? Now you have something to base off of, and this is what I mean, right? 250 times 5, right? That is 1.25 million, right? So 1,200,000, $50,000, right? So what happens is that's a 5x. So what happens is when you have that, now you can say, okay, at 250, this is what our business looked like. We need 5 times that output. We need 5 times that amount of orders. We need 5 times that marketing budget, right? But if you just say, I want to make $1 million, like, you don't know how you're going to get there. But if you set the revenue goals, from the perspective of, we want a 2x, we want to grow this percentage, we want this part of our business to have this percentage of this type of customers. That's how we have to start looking at things. That's how we have to start going in and saying, this is how I want to grow my business, rather than, I just want to make money, right? So I want you to really look at this year and ask yourself, what does a 70% increase in revenue look like this month? This month, why was revenue down? What did we do, right? And this is what my strategic intensives are really about. And this is why I work with clients on a month-to-month or a quarterly basis, because it's like, you really need to dig into your business. Just saying I want to make money, that's nothing, right? There's a formula to all of this stuff. And every company has their own formula. But you will never understand your formula, or you'll never create your formula, if you don't dig into your business. Dig into your analytics. Dig into your business. You need to understand your business, so that way you can create your formula. And your formula is essentially kind of like a recipe, right? You want to have a recipe for success for your business, but that doesn't come from, just saying I want to make this amount of money. It comes from studying your own business. It comes from studying your metrics. It comes from studying your data. It comes from studying your own trends. Fuck what everybody else is doing. What is your company doing? What has your company done? Why is revenue up? Why is revenue down? Why is this month a low revenue month? Why is this month a high revenue month? Does your industry have cycles? What are the high months in your industry? What are the low months in your industry? Really study your business. Really study your business. So I feel like that's very, very, very important as well. I just feel like the whole blockchain is gonna give you so many different advantages. And also something else that you want to consider going into this next year is, how did you perform as a CEO, right? If you're a CEO, I just did a video the other day about, are you a CEO or a marketer, right? Go back to that video and watch it. But I want you to really ask yourself, like, how did I perform as a CEO, right? If I have staff, are my employees happy? You should maybe do an end of the year survey, right? Are they happy? How's the team, right? Like, is anybody up for a bonus, a pay increase, right? Is a pay increase coming? Like, these are all things that you need to think about. How many people are on my team right now? Are we lean enough? Are we not lean enough? Are we too fat? Do we need to trim some fat? Do we need to let some people go? Going into this new year, you want to really understand that. You want to know, like, okay, how much money are we going to be spending on marketing this year? Like, it baffles me how many people don't have a marketing budget. They don't have a marketing budget. Think about that. You don't have a marketing budget set aside or, in your projections. So basically, if you don't have a marketing budget like 12 months in advance, and it could change, right? It could go more, it could go higher, but you need something. If you don't have that, then how do you expect to go make $200,000, to make X amount of dollars? We need to be looking at, the P&Ls, throughout the whole year and be asking ourselves, like, where were things at? How are we going to make this better next year at the same time of the year? These are all things that you should really, really, really be thinking about and considering going into the next year. Inflation has hit big, right? You should also be thinking about your IP, your intellectual property. How am I protecting that? Do I need some trademarks? Am I going to be licensing some stuff out, right? Those things are important too. So it's way bigger than, of course, money, right? It's way bigger than, oh, I want to make this revenue. That is a byproduct of everything else that you do. And if you could fully understand that, your life will be changed forever, and so will your business, right? So those are some things from a macro perspective that I think you should be thinking about and considering going into the new year in 2022. You can, of course, think about your website and stuff like that, but those things are technical things. I talk about things from a bird's eye view, from a macro perspective, right? You should always be thinking about your strategy. You should always be thinking about your strategy. Your strategy is important. Your strategy is key. But all of those other things play a factor in your strategy as well. So those are some things that I definitely think that you should really be considering going into this new year. If you guys are looking to do a deep dive into your business, then you could definitely click the link in the description and you can schedule a call with me. Prices are going up on January 1st. So if you want to do that, then definitely schedule a call with me and we'll make that happen. And if not, next year, catch me next year. But these are definitely important things that you want to be thinking about. Also your product launches, what products are going to be coming out new as well. But that's really up to you, and it's up to you to know your business and to know your product and to know your audience and all that stuff. Your email strategy, you definitely need to be thinking about that. Compare from this year to next year. Maybe you want to be sending out, 30% more emails every single month. We gotta really think about that. We gotta start talking about that. So those are things. What do you need to consider going into 2022? Those are some things that I definitely think you should be considering. Really, one of the biggest things is this whole blockchain and NFTs and stuff like that. People about to be having virtual closets, virtual kitchens, virtual bathrooms, right? And all these collections, these tokens, it's about to get crazy. So definitely dive into that if you haven't. And if you have, keep diving into it because it's about to be insane. And we want to stay abreast of everything going on, in the world. So definitely, I hope that this episode was solid. It was good for you. If you have any questions, definitely hit me up. We're going to catch you on the next episode. But always remember, everything you do in life, it starts with a vision. Peace.